The Justice Department filed a federal lawsuit against Fulton County demanding ballot and election records from the 2020 presidential race. The DOJ says the county failed to comply with a federal subpoena, but Fulton officials say some of the materials are sealed.
Looks like somebody needs to go to jail, and I'm not stuttering when I say that. We're past the point of little oopsies and critical errors. You have hundreds of thousands of votes certified or unsigned receipts, data and a glitch in the system. It's a full-scale crime against every single person who stepped into a voting booth. We're angry and we have every right to be, because the people we trusted to guide the gates are the same ones who left it wide open and invited the chaos in. Check this out, because the game just changed and the Justice Department is finally done playing around. The feds have just filed a massive federal lawsuit against Fulton County Clerk Che Alexander. And they aren't asking nicely for the keys anymore. They're coming in with a heavy-duty battering ram to seize every 2020 ballot and every single envelope they've been stashing in the basement for 5 long years. They're using the Civil Rights Act of 1960 to grab records that Fulton County has treated like they were written in disappearing ink. But hold up, because we gotta talk about justice. Double standards that's playing out right in front of our eyes. While these Fulton County officials are sitting pretty, look at what they did to the people who dared to ask questions. They tried to bury Trump under enough charges to keep him in a cell for 7 lifetimes. We're talking over 700 years of prison time they wanted to drop on a man for simply saying, "Hey, something doesn't smell right here."
Dan, good morning. Yeah, we'll be following this very closely. Expected to turn himself in a little bit later on today. Donald Trump says he will surrender to face charges in the case accusing him of illegally scheming to overturn his 2020 election loss.
And don't even get me started on what they did to Tina Peters.
Handing down his sentence to Tina Peters. We want to give you a chance to listen again right now.
I mentioned before there are no mental health concerns. There's no good reason why you're here, Ms. Peters, other than these are all the active decisions that you made that cost our county significantly, but also more importantly, cost you greatly. Mr. Wood, all the members of the county who worked and trusted you when you asked them to do things that they did on your behalf as part of your lies. The expense, the toll is immeasurable.
They took a grandmother who just wanted to preserve the data, and they locked her up at the age of nearly 80 years old, like she was some kind of high-level threat, while people who actually oversaw the unsigned tapes and the machine trickery are out here getting lunch, while the real perpetrators are hiding behind government immunity. They'll give a grandmother a decade for looking at machines, but they won't give the voters the truth about 300,000 missing signatures. Now let's get back to the official mess in Georgia. Remember that county lawyer, Ann Brumbaugh, who stood up in a room full of people and admitted that they don't dispute that the tapes weren't signed? Now that admission was like tossing a lit match into a lake of gasoline. We're talking about 315,000 votes in a state where the margin was thinner than a piece of paper. Then by law, those votes should have never touched the tally. Now that's what I call a pincer move. They tried to hide behind voter privacy, but let's be real for a second. They aren't protecting your privacy, they're protecting the perpetrator. They treat the archives like a personal shredding bin because they know if we see the paper, we'll see the truth. Now let's talk about that ICP2 and that IPC3 machine trickery. This wasn't just some tech glitch, it was a high-stakes shell game. Think of it like this. Imagine you go to the bank to deposit your hard-earned money and the teller hands you a receipt, but the account number on the paper belongs in a completely different bank in a different state. If the paperwork doesn't match the machine you're standing in front of, then the whole transaction is a fraud. And that's exactly what happened to those tabulars in Fulton County. This brings us straight to the man at the top of the food chain, Brad Raffensperger. He was the one responsible for certifying this whole disaster, and he did everything in his power to block the truth. Why did it take 5 years for the DOJ to finally move? Because they had the same information back in 2021. It seems they only want to see justice when the public starts screaming so loud it can't ignore it anymore. It's all about the optics and not about the law. Now what you need to take from this video so far is that the system is just broken. It was hijacked. They want to get you to believe by telling you that questioning the result is a threat to democracy, while they go into the courtroom and admit the records are gone. That's the ultimate trickery. They say one thing to the cameras and say another thing to the judge when they think nobody's recording. Is it time for real accountability? Is it time for the handcuffs to come out for the people who oversaw this certified disaster? People like Shea Alexander and Raffensperger? They want you to stay quiet while they hold the remote and change the channel, but the truth is leaking out of the sides. And we're not stopping until the people responsible are wearing jumpsuits, just like they wanted for Trump and Tina Peters. If you're ready for real justice, hit that like button and comment, because it feeds the algorithm. We're the ones who do the heavy lifting while the mainstream media looks the other way. So click the link above and I'll see you on the next video.
When somebody gets indicted, your poll numbers go down. When somebody gets indicted, you announce, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be leaving to spend time with my family and to fight for the rest of my life on this stuff. But you're out of politics. I got indicted 4 times. All trivia, nonsense.